Hey everyone, it's Em. Thanks for listening in to this episode of Two Girls Shooting the Shit with Em and Mo. Listen in as we discuss the horrific mass shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. Mo and I talk about the role of police, the unbelievable expectations placed on educators, and a bunch of emotional revelations pertaining to gun culture in the United States of America. As always, don't forget to join us on Instagram Live Tuesday nights, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, where we discuss our latest podcast episodes. See you there.
Police have no duty to protect the public.
Yes.
Yep.
Police do not have to act if someone is actively being harmed. They do have to arrest someone who has violated others. So why do they need a gun?
Ooh! Ooh!
What's the gun for?
Ooh! 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 Hey girl.
Hey Momo, how are you?
I am good, surprisingly. Surprisingly good.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, sun is shining. You know, all I need is that sunshine.
Oh, you got that energy.
Yeah. I got energy. I got a lot of
Oh my. So what's new? Oh, you can't be choking on coffee like that.
Oh man, I
That's
lost
not
my headphones. Hold on.
mess around and drown in some coffee.
Ooh,
That
Lord.
sounds like my way to go though. Give me the coffee.
Like coffee thing.
It's early in the morning. Wipe the sleep on a
Got breakfast on the table.
Na, 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 na. I don't know what that was. So,
How you doing? How you
okay.
doing? How your mama doing? How your daddy doing?
Oh my gosh, I love it. You are so like full of Monique right now.
Aw. What we talking about?
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. I literally rolled myself right up out of bed like 10 minutes ago. So
We got two topics. Which one you gonna start with? Either way. Either way. Well, we were talking about Black women and what was it? You sent a meme or something, and it was about Black women and Black men and how
the
Black
reel
women
that I
have
sent,
to be
it's always separate.
independent.
Well, I think the you know what, there's this reel, like the audio that's been going around, and it's a Black woman talking about, I am not an independent Black woman.
Oh yeah, I posted
can't-
that too.
But I feel like every time I hear it, it sinks in a little bit more like, no, I need help. I am
Yes.
not strong all by myself. I am not,
Amen.
like
period poop.
I feel like we've talked about this a lot before though. Like just the whole idea of strong Black women and independent and angry Black women and all of those I don't know, monikers, descriptors.
Yeah,
whatever.
why can't we just be? Why can't
Right?
we exist?
Well, the reel that I sent you from Instagram, let me see, because I have your text up right now.
You're getting on my nerves.
Is the one, it says, why does it always have to be, this type of Black man, this type of Black woman? Excuse me, my voice is waking up. But why can't it be a cohesive unit? Like, I don't think there was like, oh, white woman this, white man this,
Yeah.
or Asian woman, like I'm sure there's characteristics attributed to each, but it seems like we're two very distinct people, like classes or groups of people. Black men are this without any thought to what Black women are in relation to that. Like it's not,
And it's like we're a monolith.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the statistics, it's like most Black men are married to Black women. Like all of this
we did
stuff.
an episode about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, and then I saw something else that blew my mind. What was that statistic I sent you? Because I said, they're not
blow
enough.
it up.
I was like, they're not enough Black men or something like
Ah,
that.
the
Or
numbers.
viable Black men. But even like that, like
What does that
I
even
thought
mean?
it was 1 out of 10 or something like that. Like I thought it was like for one Black woman, one Black man, there were 10 Black women or something crazy like that.
It's not, yeah.
Because I was trying to compare it to a farm, like a chick, a rooster,
Animals.
you know?
Yes, yeah.
And then I actually looked it up, and I'm like, first of all, it's like 7 to 10. It's still more women, but it's not even half and half. Like it's like 7 men for every. And then even when you take out the, like the prison, like all of that, it's still like 6 or 5.5. So it's like not as bad
Isn't
as I
that
thought.
sad that we still have to talk about it like that?
Yep.
We have this many, dateable or available
Yeah.
eligible Black men, and then when you take out the prison, like it's still not a pipeline, but yeah, it's still like a major factor for why Black men are not around or not available is prison.
Right. And it's just by design.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because people are getting upset about, oh my God, Pantera, get down. I think they're on their last legs.
Oh, aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Whew, you better be ready. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. Whew. Anyway, it's just like people are complaining about how, like the police have no duty to protect in this whole recent, chaos that's gone on and everything. And it's like, no, it's protect property.
Who is saying that? No, time out. Who is saying that?
It's the whole thing. You haven't seen it. It's all over.
They're saying that they don't have
to protect. They don't have a duty to act or anything. Yeah, I didn't know that either. They really don't.
Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. I thought
look
they were
it
the
up.
only ones with an affirmative duty to act in situations like that.
What brought me out to it was when I was in DC and someone was getting their head busted on the street and the cops were just sitting by, and I'm just like, what is happening? Like they were like on the concrete just getting pummeled, and the cops, like there were cop cars all around and just watching.
Were they
and
Black?
I said, no, they were like, I don't know, they were white or Eastern European or Hispanic. Like I have no idea.
Damn.
Time
out. That's upsetting me to hear that. So I'm like, what?
Yeah. And so I looked it up, and they don't have a duty to protect or duty to act or something like that.
Aren't they duty just to search, to protect?
They just duty to get paid, like duty to protect property, like.
Especially remember how they were doing in Portland and during the riots after George Floyd's death.
Yeah, it's property. See?
I don't know. That feels. Oh.
Police have no duty to protect the public.
Yes. Yep. Police do not have to act if someone is actively being harmed. They do have to arrest someone who has violated others. So why do they need a gun?
Oh.
What's the gun for?
Ooh. NRA, maybe? That's a good observation. Ooh. Why you need a gun if you don't have a duty? Y'all ain't doing nothing.
Okay. I'm really having a hard time here. They don't have to do anything, but when they do something and step out of line, they're protected by so many different.
Because the slavery, because that's what I'm saying. Like they have
God.
I see arresting people who have done crimes and stuff, but the thing that bothers me is like going after people because of the color of their skin and stuff, and basically like being the new KKK. And there is no duty. Like you're not doing the job when there's actual harm taking place. You're not doing anything
to children.
Then you're picking at people.
Let's talk about that. So because this has been on my heart for a long. I mean, we've talked about. I know this is hard. But you brought it up, so we say a little something. I've been watching the news. I've been reading, the news stories that come out, all this stuff, because I need answers. I feel like that helps me process stuff, is to have answers and information. Otherwise, my mind goes to really crazy places if I don't just know what happened, and just the stories that are coming out about them waiting 45 minutes outside.
Didn't they get their kids? They got their kids though.
There was one story of a border patrol. It wasn't the police that did it. It was the border patrol that came in and actually acted. The police just stood around. His border patrol agent, one of the stories, he was at a barber getting his hair cut, and his wife was a teacher at the school. I think she taught 4th grade or 2nd grade or something, because it was a 4th grade class that where the victims were. But she texted him, "There's an active shooter, help." And he left the barber. He didn't have his gun. He took the barber's gun, because it's Texas, everybody got a gun.
Everybody got a gun.
So the barber said, "Here, take my gun." He went in there, busted in, got his wife, his kid, and however many kids he could take, and he got them out. I'm saying, there is a parent. This is the part that hurts my heart. There were parents outside screaming, "Do something! Go in there!"
Yeah, I couldn't watch that video. Yeah,
it broke me. There was a dad saying, "Give me the vest."
Can you imagine?
My child is in there, and this woman got handcuffed and restrained because she was getting, rightfully so, her babies were in there.
Yeah.
So she ended up Somehow someone talked to somebody to get her out of the handcuffs. She scaled the fence, ran in, and got her kid.
Good for her. Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no fucking way.
Like, how do we have everyday like people running in to do? These are children. You know what I mean? Like it's
always
I don't
everyday
know.
people you hear in these stories. It's like, oh, nobody did something, but Bob from down the hall. You know,
especially if it's your
stepped up.
kids. If your kids are in there, you will do anything in that situation.
Just think about the teachers. Like, I was a teacher. I can't even imagine. Like, I cannot.
I know.
Imagine.
We need to get some teachers on here to talk about that, because that's
right.
What we're expecting of them, what we pay them, the criticisms they get from a lot of conservative people. I think there's a lot of teachers ain't shit, kind of blah blah blah, that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about arming them. Like, that's the solution.
Yeah, and like, you made a meme or something, or you posted a meme that just stuck with me. It's like, OMG, we have teachers can't even get school supplies, and now you just think they're just going to get guns. Like,
yeah,
they can't even get paper and pencils.
paper. Yeah.
Like, come on.
Or you don't trust them to choose the right books for your children, or to talk about race, or to talk about sexual orientation, but you trust them with their lives like this. Like, this is their job now.
Yeah. And if somebody posted another meme, I'm meme crazy.
Crazy.
Because it was like, oh, you don't want trans people in the bathroom because it's harmful to kids, supposedly. You don't want gay because it's, you can't say gay because it's harmful to kids. Like, they went on all this list of dumb, innocuous shit that's supposed to be harmful to kids. But then it's like, oh, people busted in and shooting schools.
Literally
literally killing children. You don't want to do anything about it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's like hard to process and just accept it. It's hard. How can I accept this? This doesn't make any fucking sense.
And that's what they're asking us to do, is accept. I have last night, I didn't text you because I know you wanted some space from this type of stuff. But I texted a friend of ours about it. I have cousins in Canada, and we've had this conversation. And so, we kind of reconnected a couple weeks ago when I was up there. And so she texted me, and she's got, her son is in 4th grade, I believe. And she texted and she's like, I don't know what to tell him. He's scared to go to school. He has anxiety. And I'm like, fuck, like, the things we are doing here impact kids outside of the US. Like, they're afraid, even though that's not their reality. They're afraid.
So close too.
It's like heartbreaking. It's not just, obviously parents here are reeling. Taking them to school the day after that shooting was really hard to do.
Yeah,
but to have kids in other parts of the world scared because we can't keep our shit together is really, that's telling. We're the greatest country on earth, right? Are we? That's what we like to say, and you can't tell anybody any different. They interviewed Ted Cruz about it. This British reporter or something interviewed Ted Cruz, and he was just like, people come here from all over because blah, blah. And it's like, that wasn't the question. But that wasn't the question.
Yeah.
And I think that's the question was, is this American excellence? Is this, if it's supposed to be the greatest country, why are your kids getting mowed down at school?
Period. Like, because it's not their kids. Until it's their kids, they aren't going to care. And then when their kid gets mowed down, all of a sudden we're going to see change finally. Like, how you go to your constituents and be like, oh yeah, sorry for you. And these idiots are the ones voting for them. So I'm like, are you reaping what you sow? Like, you're the ones voting for their asses. But somebody made a good point. Like, it was also a meme or tweet, and it was someone.
I love me a meme.
Uvalde or something like that, and who she was saying that she's from there, and they are trying to vote, and they are trying to do, like, voting is not enough. They don't have power. Like, it's actually they're oppressed, and so telling them to go vote is just more oppression. And I was like, wow, like, that is true. Like, and then what is it? That doesn't guarantee anything. You're just gonna avoid another asshole, probably. Like, there's no hope.
Yeah.
So it's like, what can the citizens do? How can we protect ourselves, our children, our communities? Like, how did we protect it back in the day? Like, maybe we need to go back to that.
I think the problem, this is what gets me, like, when Governor Greg Abbott is talking about these mental health services that they're starting to pour money into, which is great. Maybe you should have done that from jump. Like, that would have been good. Period. To have these resources for people. But that's not the only solution. You have a problem. There are many ways to you pack on the protection. It's almost like, get the vaccine, put the mask on, social distance, wash your hands. Like, there's all these things you do. You don't just do one thing.
Not just one thing.
Right.
But
And
that's
so
America, ain't it? Like that one magic pill, like that one
right.
thing,
But
solution solved,
this isn't
problem
mental
solved.
health. He even said that this guy had no mental health issues of note. So
Hmm.
what
They
do you
love to say
do?
some mental health, love to
Right.
say some
But I mean,
mental health.
mental health is an issue because the majority of gun deaths are suicide.
America is mentally
Um,
ill, period, poops.
but the thing is, give them mental health. That's fine. They want to have these what is it? They want to have armed guards at school, which I think is ridiculous because there was a
Would they,
resource
all of those
officer
people, yeah, all of those
and they
people didn't
don't
do
do anything
shit.
either. If the cops
Yeah.
don't have to do anything,
Yeah.
Parkland, he didn't do anything.
Yeah. Like
Here, the guy wasn't even there.
some
And when he got
bullshit.
there, he went right past the shooter. So there's all these things. I think that the stupidest thing I've heard though is to put the responsibility on these kids, how to
Wait, I didn't hear
hide,
that one yet.
well, just, I mean, we're asking them to learn how to hide, how to protect
Oh, that's
themselves, how to
sad.
whatever. And
And that
that's,
was, can we talk about that? You woke up that morning and you were like,
I had a
why is it normal
feeling,
for kids to wake up and learn how to hide and all this, the
girl,
active shooter? And then like a couple hours later, it had like, that's crazy.
like that's why I'm scared in my mind. I feel like sometimes things just pop in and then it happens and it's really scary.
Yeah, that was creepy.
It's scary. Oof. But the thing is, this isn't, it's rare, but these lockdown drills or lockdown situations happen more often than we know about in school. Not so much that there's a full-on active shooter, but there's a lot of times where our kids have to get, hey, we're having there's a suspicious activity on campus. We have this, because that happened at my daughter's school.
Yeah.
That morning, there was a helicopter flying really low. They didn't know, I mean, really low. They didn't know what was going on. And there was like weird stuff going on campus. So they put I don't know. I don't know.
And then I
But
think like a few weeks ago, you had gotten a false alarm for like UC Berkeley or something, there was some
active
disturbance
shooter or something. Yeah.
It's like always something.
But it's domestic terrorism. You feel like you can't go anywhere. It's not that there's one specific group that is doing this, but the feeling of being unsafe. I've talked to friends and they're like having panic attacks in grocery stores because they don't know where the exit is. Like things like that. Like I feel that way every time I go into a movie theater. Like I feel like I can't be here. I don't know how to get out. I can't sit too far from the exit, but I don't want to sit too low because that's where the shooter's going to be. I
have a friend like that with malls, scared of malls, but it's like, that's the thing. That's you're on edge all the time because you don't know. You can be anywhere and anything can happen. Like there's no rhyme or reason. There's nothing you can do to say, this is safe. This is okay. Because as soon as you do, like people are in church today, like last weekend, people got shot in church and that happens a lot. Can't go to the grocery store. I mean, you can't go to school. You can't even go to pre-K. And I think that was the one mass shooting they had in Scotland was like daycare or something like that, little babies.
And that's all it took.
And that's all it took.
Which is a lot. Which is
like 20 years ago or something, 30 years ago, and that's done. But we still have it.
Where's the value? We're valuing, this is, okay, let's put our brains on for a second here with this. The Second Amendment doesn't mean you can have any old weapon you want, doing whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. Like that's not, and I hate when people present it in that way, well, this is my right. This is the only right you want, unlimited. Every right you have has limitations.
Yep.
Okay, so you want to talk about freedom. We're not just free just to be sitting up here doing whatever we want. There's no reason an 18-year-old should have two within a week of his birthday. He should have two of these, whatever. I don't know much about guns, but I know that these are really bad ones because they just shred you up, just to the point where the parents had to have DNA testing to match them with remains. How sick is that? These are children. Could you imagine?
No, I couldn't. I probably would die of a heart attack like that dad did. Like, how sad is that? Only so much you can take. Ain't that some shit? I said, ain't that some shit? Oh, ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? Goddamn. I think this stereotype of the strong Black woman needs to stop. Like we were saying before, our conversation completely detoured into Uvalde territory. As usual, conversations about Black women are commonly. We were talking about how Black women need to be protected, how Black women are not these strong, independent, don't need anyone else human beings. We are human beings first and foremost, and we need to be protected. We need to be loved. And I think that a lot of times United States culture just tells us we don't. Who's the least protected? Exactly. Who's the least protected? Black women. Just saying. Beam me up.
But I mean, no one's taking your guns away. First of all, that's not going to happen. That's like America doesn't have the. We can't even, like I said the other day, we can't even get formula back into the states.
Right?
We're not going to be able to handle the logistics of retrieving all the guns. That's not going to happen ever. Never, no. But there are certain guns that have no business being out on the street or available to civilians. Like this gun, there's no reason.
Yeah, and then I found out, let me see, I don't know if that's true, but AR-15 is a brand. Like it's not even, it doesn't mean
specific
automatic.
type.
It's a specific brand, supposedly. Let me see if that's true.
Also, I think
Armalite.
The speed of which the bullets come out, I think is a higher automatic rate of speed rifle. And faster, like to get off more shots. And I feel like hunters aren't using that.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Like in my family, like a lot of people hunt and stuff. Right. So a lot of people have guns. But what do you need an AR-15 for? Like, are you gonna go into combat? Like that's the only thing I can think of.
You can't eat what you shoot with that because of what the damage is done. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you want that kind of gun. No, you think you're brave enough for that gun, go enlist. You really want that gun.
If you really want to use it, go enlist. That's the only place I can see it being used. It should not be used commercially. Like, no, people should not have access to that. There's no purpose for it. None.
But when you talk to people, I mean, it's almost like zealots. It's
taking something away.
Because I can have, we had somebody on the live the other day because I want it, because I like it and I want it. Yeah. Okay, but look what it's capable of doing. Mm-hmm. So where do we draw the? I mean, do people have grenades? Can you just have grenades? I can just buy.
Can you? Let's look it up.
That's what I don't know. You can't have,
but you can't have fireworks. Like, make it make sense.
4th of July.
You can get an AR-15. You can't have fireworks in some places. Like, make it make sense. I mean,
heaven forbid the stuff something catches on fire. Let's shoot up a second grade of kids or whatever, or fourth
and grade. Nobody cares because it was brown children. You don't even hear about it.
Well, they didn't care with the white kids in Newtown either. So we can make it about race, but they just really don't care. They really don't, because you can't vote yet.
So I don't even know what was Newtown. I don't even remember that.
Sandy Hook. That was Sandy Hook. That was the first.
Man. They did. They talked about that for a year or so.
But they didn't do anything about it. Maybe locally. True. In Connecticut, they've made some changes, but I think it's because of the senators that you have there, and because those parents mobilized. They did. I mean, those Parkland kids, as much shit as they got stuff done. They got stuff done in Florida, which is amazing because it's Florida. But I remember after Parkland, everybody's like, "You're just a kid. Sit down." It's like, yeah, well, you want them to literally fight for their lives, but you don't want to hear what they have to say after. Mm-mm.
It's sad. I know some of the kids are they went on to college and
they're like 21, 22. Yeah.
Look, that's trauma that's going to live in the rest of their lives.
Forever. The survivors, there's that. I mean, yeah, these kids are dead, but there's also survivors the thing that got me was when Senator Murphy from Connecticut was addressing everybody on the floor of Congress. And he was saying, the trauma from that, like these kids, these second graders, these first graders from Sandy Hook, they had to create like a special word. Anytime the kids had a flashback or a feeling, they were supposed to say monkey. And he said for weeks after, kids were just yelling and screaming in the class, monkey, like just.
Ooh, I can't even imagine.
And they would have to pull them out, and they had, specialists and therapists there to help these kids. But how do you get that out of your brain?
War. They were in a war zone.
Yeah. And these are children. Like they shouldn't have to.
One and then the girl who had to smear blood on her face and stuff to make it look like she was dead. I mean, that's a survival tactic. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. And yet, Ted Cruz out here enjoying his dinner, not caring. He already flew out. He flies out in every crisis. He goes to Mexico or something. Every crisis.
But not until he finished, addressing the NRA at the convention, which is like, so not tone deaf, but just really shows they don't care.
Selfish. No, it's selfish. She's getting money. He's getting kickbacks.
No, but just in general.
I mean, I don't know, but I would guess. There's
he's getting paid. They own him. Yeah. They own Marco Rubio. Yeah. They own. They're
one of the biggest lobbies. And they just had like, look at the timing. They just had a convention in Houston or something like that. And
They
I'm like, was this
did.
advertising for the NRA? Like, I don't put anything past them.
Well, they had one of the like cable news hosts that I enjoy watching. I think he's very smart. Chris
Who?
Hayes. Chris
Oh,
Hayes.
okay.
Um,
MSNBC.
yeah, but I think he's a smart ass too. So I kind of like how he's just,
Mhm.
you know, but he mentioned marketing, right? Because this is not I don't know the type of what he said. It's a durable good. A gun can work forever. You know what I mean? It's not like you're gonna have to get a new one, like a pair of shoes or something like that.
Yep.
And he said, so the marketing campaign, he brought up Taco Bell. And I thought this was interesting. How can we
Not
get
Taco
more
Bell.
people to eat more Taco Bell? So they created fourth meal, right? Which is like, so now maybe we can get people to eat Taco Bell one more meal a day, fourth meal. They made that thing up.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah, it's like part of their marketing campaign, fourth meal. So, create another meal around like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, midnight. You got to go get your Taco Bell. So that's part of their marketing. And so he applied that to the NRA. How can we get more people to buy guns? And they started this whole campaign about get your man card back. Dude, it's feeding into this toxic masculine. Yep. Yes.
Toxic mask.
And it's gross. Like it is seen as like a form of manliness or whatever. You see it in all these campaign ads, all of them. Everybody got to hold a gun or shoot a gun in a campaign ad to show that they're really,
and here even here in Pennsylvania, like every time I step outside of the Philly area, I mean, even in Philly, there's obviously a huge gun violence thing going on. But as soon as you step out, like you go into like the suburbs and stuff, like the cars, every car has this like AR-15s, like machine guns on them and Trump stickers and stuff. Yeah, stickers with machine guns. And like, they're really like gun. And I'm like, what are you trying to say? Like, what are you trying to prove?
I don't understand how you could be fanatical about a gun. Like what
power? It's the ego and power. I think it's a God complex. It's putting the power of God in your own hands, the ability to take someone's life. That's the only thing that I can think of.
I feel like I know enough people with guns, guns to protect their home, guns to hunt. They're not the ones out there screaming about guns with stickers and this, and I want to open carry a rifle through the store. Like, what are you saying when you're doing that? Like, you want to walk into a Starbucks with like an AR-15? Like, what is that? Who
live your life? Why do you have
to
put it on your car and stuff? What are you trying to say? Do you think that's going to prevent someone from breaking into your car? Maybe because you think that they'll see that and be like, "Ooh, I don't want to get shut up." Like, what is the purpose?
I don't know.
Beam me the fuck up, man.
But Texas is really like the laws that they've enacted are really reckless. I don't know another word. It just seems like
they value life so much with all this abortion stuff.
Pro-life, yeah.
So pro-life until it comes to a gun. Is that why they want the babies to be born, for target practice?
Jesus
is that what it
Christ.
Is? Disgusting. I am so disgusted to be from that disgusting place. Ugh.
I don't understand. And I have never seen so many people. Like, this is an emotional issue too. I feel like just if you're a person in the world with half a heart, like,
because there's a whole world where this isn't happening.
Yeah, there's a whole entire world, save a handful of countries that are in like war. Or just the thought or the understanding that this has happened before, it will probably happen again, and people, instead of coming together, like after 9/11, let's say we came together, right? We came together and we thought of solutions, these, things like the Patriot Act, all that kind of stuff came out of it. Here, we don't come together. They're killing babies. People are killing babies, and we are not coming together. We're digging our heels deeper into, you're not going to take my gun. I don't care.
Don't politicize it. Yeah.
And then just like, oh, this is an act by an evil person.
Individual.
You know what? Maybe he wasn't an evil person. He could be anybody. If you talk to his mom was like, I didn't know, like the shooter had a mom, what I mean? And it's, I don't know. He shouldn't have had those.
And killed his grandma. Didn't he kill his grandma? Or
he killed his mom's mom. So his mom is reeling, and it's,
I couldn't imagine being a mom.
We should be able to notice when people are hurting or feeling some type of way or making comments on social media. Like he made comments on social media. So should the Instagram people or the Facebook, the Meta people, whoever it is, should they be held responsible?
Yeah, but they blocking me.
That?
I can't go on live, but y'all letting this killer do all of this stuff?
Right. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like we can point fingers all day, but if he didn't have those guns in his hands, this wouldn't happen. Like,
and then people always say, what's the other argument? Oh, criminals break law. So what's the point in having a law?
So what's the point in any law?
Yeah, exactly. That with that logic,
murder's
how
legal.
is it working everywhere else? They outlawed all that shit after they killed people in Scotland or wherever. And
culture.
Yeah, it's a culture. Like, I got to get the fuck out of here, man. Anybody from Germany or UK or somewhere want to save me? 90 Day Beyonce. Yeah.
The other way.
Save a hoe.
Yeah, it is. I think the biggest problem is culture. So yes. Since we can't, and I asked you guys the other day, is there a way to quickly change culture, change the trajectory of the culture, whatever? I asked that question in our group text or whatever. And it's
no,
because is there a way to turn it around? But
you got to have a captivating person. You got to have some kind of Jesus-like.
Maybe he's coming back.
Yeah, when he
wouldn't that be
back,
some
man?
shit? Wouldn't that be some shit?
You need some kind of, because that's what it takes. People need some kind of figurehead to project ego on, and then.
But in this day and age, though, do you think there is one unifying person who could do that?
It doesn't exist. That's what I'm saying. We're finding them individually. Like each sector has somebody
for different groups.
Yeah, for their different.
But we need that one
unifying, and it's just going to take somebody with that charisma, that captivating. And I don't know how it works, but it's always that one person, like people, PR, I don't know what it is, but they're able to give a message. And I'm like, when was the last person like that? Like, who was the last person like that? Like, I can't even think. Jimmy Carter, like he wasn't even successful. So, well, according to a lot of people, but gosh, who was like
Gandhi, Mandela? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Not even, yeah, like God,
mean,
who was they killed them all. They killed them all like in the 60s, like JFK maybe. Like, I'm like, yeah, I have no idea.
But there's always going to be haters or, pushback, especially now. I feel like anybody who comes up and says something, I mean, that poor Greta Thunberg or whatever her name was, like she was just out there saying stuff and feeling feelings and real passionate about something. People were hating on her.
She need to quit.
But she was like 16. Why do we
have she was like 12 or something at the time or something.
But people came for her. It's like, what? She's a child.
Yeah, grown-ups bullying that child. Yeah. Because it's like they want to be able to say all they want to say. But when other people say something, then all of a sudden they want to bully them. It's really like, it's just abusive. This behavior is abusive.
We're in an abusive relationship with our country.
Yeah, United States is an abusive parent. Like it's a disgusting.
It's been from jump.
It's been from jump. I mean, the fact that we have the right to say that is like we're supposed to be all happy. The fact that we can call the place where we live disgusting because other people.
But you can say that in a lot of places. Yeah, people get killed, but there's also places where you can do that there too.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather not have to say that than to have my kids blown up in a damn school.
Thank you.
Like, come on.
Thank you.
God
Thank
damn.
You. I will give up some rights so that children, not even my children,
I don't even have kids.
Anybody's children.
Exactly.
Because one day it will be your children if you don't do something. So
all the kids, it takes a village.
It does. And right now we got cuckoos.
Came up on both of us. That's funny.
Cuckoos in the village. They ain't doing nothing but padding their pockets.
Because these people know who they can control. The corporations can control these people and they know it and they choose those people. And people don't really care. Like I don't think I think it's community action. I don't know what kind, but I think that's going to be the answer. I don't think voting and this and that. We're going to have to find our way to deal with the laws we have as a community and figure out a way to protect ourselves. I have no idea what that looks like because every time people try to do something, then the government steps in and like tries to blow them up or something like that. So it's like,
we need Black Panthers to come back.
Right.
Let them protect the school. Let's just post a couple people outside of the schools. Mm-hmm. Outside. Well, let's see what put them outside of mostly black schools and see what happens.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? That's just we weren't alive for that, but that was just a different time.
A different
dudes walking down in their leather, their jackets and the berets and the beanies and the
I really need to
I don't
learn
know.
more about them.
Kelsey boots.
I tried to watch that movie, but
I know nothing about them, but
I know
it's a whole vibe.
nothing.
Just the whole vibe. I was like, okay.
Right? And the
Y'all
way the
doing something.
FBI, and look, what did they do? The government blew them up. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Anytime people try to do the right thing, the government steps in. The
Yes.
government does not want people to do the right thing. They want us to be in chaos and fear so they can control us. And that's the problem.
You know what? I'm like, whatever. You want to do that? Fine. Just don't do it to the kids. Don't do it
No,
with the
don't do it to
babies.
anybody.
But especially these babies. Like
And I'm like, is it population control? Are we like running out of resources? Like, is food supply chain, like, what is happening? Why is this acceptable for all these deaths? Like, I think even like the shooting deaths here in Philadelphia are already up to like, I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, let me look up. It's ridiculous. I want to say like already 400 or something crazy like that. And it's only May and it's almost June. Like,
it's too much.
how many deaths in Philly so far?
It's too much.
Well, we didn't really talk about Black women. As always, Black women got
even we did it.
Shoot, homicide victims. I can't read this. 194. That's still a lot.
It's a lot.
God, 194 people dead in 5 months, 6 months.
Mm-mm. The number of kids dead from gun violence is around that number too. Gun violence is the number one killer of kids in the United States of America as of right now. And that's not just mass shootings, obviously. It's also people who have guns and don't know how to care for them and store them and keep
kids
them out
playing
of the
with
hands
the guns.
of kids.
That happened in my neighborhood. Yeah. The kid shot somebody else, I think it was.
Still, I mean, these are weapons meant to kill. That's the whole point of a gun. The gun is not, someone tried to tell me on the live, oh no, it's a deterrent. No, because then it wouldn't have bullets and it wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Like they are literally meant to injure, kill another human being or an animal or whatever. So to not have the respect for what this weapon can do and the understanding that not everybody needs to have one in their hands. And the Constitution doesn't say that you have to have one. Everybody has to have one in their hands. If you're 18, just turn 18, you have no business with any kind of gun in your hand. None. Can you imagine at 18? Do you remember yourself at 18? Let me have a killing weapon, especially if you're, and this is going to be whatever, but look it up. If you're a man, a young man, you know, an adolescent, teenage man, child, no business.
I had no business. I definitely should not have had a gun because I remember Jeremy was one of my favorite songs growing up.
Ooh, Pearl Jam.
Shoot.
Oh.
Jeremy spoke in class today.
But even think about what year was that? And that
90s.
tells you, I mean.
Yeah. Any final things to say?
No, it's heartbreaking and it sucks and I hate it. Period.
Same.
And something has to be done.
What is we gonna do?
Not up to us. Bye. All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Two Girls Shooting the Shit with Em and Mo. Please enjoy this mindful moment. Over the last 2 decades, more school-aged children have died from guns than on-duty police officers and active-duty military combined. Think about that.